Welcome to the May 15th, 2012 Waterboro Board of Selectmen's meeting. If you'd please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Apologize for being a little late in getting the business portion of the meeting going. We were in executive session, going over some general assistance material. The first order of business this evening is a public hearing. The Waterboro Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, May 15th, 2012 at 6 p.m. at the Waterboro Town Hall regarding an application for a new restaurant liquor license for Lee's Family Restaurant. Is there anyone present that would like to speak either for or against this application? Okay, seeing none, then we'll close the public hearing. We will be voting on that a little bit later. It's under new business. Are there any announcements? I know something you may want to check in some of the local stores, because I don't have the flyer with me, but there's going to be, I'm sure you're all familiar with the achievements of the 8th grade basketball team. Well, they have the opportunity to go down to Florida, and there's going to be a fundraiser at the Sanford Golf Course. But I don't have the date.
June 9th, I believe.
June
I got
9th?
a call on it last night.
Oh, did you? Okay, so it's June 9th. I know that it's what, it's $90 a player?
I think it's something, I think it's $85 a player, and that includes food, course fees, and I think $25 or so donation to get youngsters down to Florida. I mean, the thing is, I told the person that called me, I don't think I can get anybody to play golf with me.
Well, I know that Dennis is quite a golf enthusiast, but whether or not he would venture...
He needs to carry a machete and...
Is golfing with you like going bird hunting with Dick Cheney?
That's dangerous.
Yes. Same analogy, huh? Okay. Any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to hearing of delegation. Is there anyone present that has business that they'd like to bring before the board at this time? So, okay, seeing none, moving right along then. We have some correspondence this week, the Treasurer's Weekly Financial Reports, Representative Libby's newsletter, the Motor Vehicle Agent's Report of April 2012, the Ecomaine April 2012 Recycling Report, and we have confidential correspondence from the town attorney reference a consent judgment. If anyone is interested in any of the first 4 items, you can go to the town's website. It will be available there. If you don't have access to a computer or anything, you can come to the town hall and see the administrative assistant to the town administrator or the town administrator, and that material will be made available to you. Okay, now we're up. She wanted to know if it was going to be closed, so we're ready for Nancy. Please. Next item on the agenda is reports and staff initiatives. The first one that we're going to hear from is from General Assistance, and she will be discussing the results of an audit conducted by the state.
but it does happen. We can only help them with part, and we can't always give them what they need. So just utilize that more. Let's see. When I was doing the application, at the bottom of an application is a work-related expense line. And not having anybody from DHS come in and train me since I've been here, I just followed suit with our previous person. And the way she was doing it was an error. So the end result was still the same, it's just I was using that line in the wrong area, so you wanted me to correct that. And people who that come back every month, he calls them regulars, so for duplicate, he says just to watch their cash register receipts when they go to the grocery store, to make sure they're not buying the same thing every time, because they could be stocking up. Like if you buy shampoo or toothpaste, it's gonna last you more than 30 days. Make sure they're not buying the same thing every single time and stocking up or selling it. So he says, keep an eye on receipts. And he had an odd one that I hadn't even never have thought of. To pay attention to people that are buying large quantities of air fresheners, because he says what basically is happening is they're buying that to cover up the smell or the odor of cooking drugs, doing different things they're not supposed to be doing, you know, any form of drugs, and they're using this to cover up the smell. So if you see someone buying 20 air fresheners, you need to look into that. Basically, that was it. It wasn't a whole lot. That majority of it was good. If you have to make an exception on something because it's an emergency situation, make sure you make a narrative explaining why you did it the way you did it, because you can go over a little bit sometimes. There really has to be a good reason for it. So as long as you've got that written in, why you did it and explaining why, you know, in detail, they're fine with it. And he read a few of the ones I had done, and he says that was perfectly fine. It was okay. It explained why. But other than that, it went really well. So picked up a few tips. Weeks on filling out my form. I wasn't filling out the gray area on the side of the application. There's a section for the client to fill out, and there's also to fill out. I always did it on first-time applicants, because when I went to one of my original trainings, they said, always do that for your first time, so I always did. And after that, it's up to you, you know, because you've already dictated what they're going to be, because it's the same ones with the same income. It's just repeating yourself. He said I should do it more often, basically for the reason if I'm on vacation, I got sick, and Nancy had to fill in, she would know what my train of thought was or what my reasoning for doing what I did was. It's basically a good backup system. So I've been doing that since he came in. Other than that, everything was good. There was a couple of small errors. I had overspent on one person by $5, and I had overspent on another person by $17. But I had good explanations as to why, so he was okay with that. But he said just to try not to if I could. And he also wanted to know, on the windows on the doors when we first come in, where we list our emergency people, we usually have a chairperson phone number on there. He said some places do fire station, or some places will do the local police station and have them get in touch with me. So I don't know if you guys want to consider that, or leave it the same way that we've been doing it, just switch it every year for whoever the chairperson is. That's up to you guys. If you want to switch that or not, just let me know. And fundraisers for oil. He said some towns are including like a letter in their tax bills asking, you know, if you want to make a donation to such and such fund, you know, to help with fuel oil. Just different suggestions like that he was putting out there that other towns that he had saw and been to does for their fundraising for, because a lot of people out there don't qualify for oil but need it and there's no place to go. So we have WAB that helps us with fundraisers and stuff, but he was just throwing out other ideas as well. So
That's kind of an interesting concept, put something in the tax bills.
Yeah. It's kind of, just, he's just throwing a few things out there to see if we wanted to work on any of them, or, just to try to help us build up that fund, so, in case the state does run out. Or, as you know, Liheap didn't give out much this year, and people were really hurting, so I saw a lot of people come in that I would never normally see, that just didn't have anything left.
And we had a mild winter.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if it was a bad one again. So, that was pretty much it. Any questions?
Good.
Thank you, Nancy.
Next report will be from our code enforcement officer to discuss and vote to approve a consent order for 150 Straw Mill Brook Road, tax map 4, lot 15B.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just before we get started, I don't think Mark has come in before the board formally since he started, and folks in town that are seeing him on TV for the first time might not know who he is. So it might be nice to introduce him.
I'd be glad to say hello again. I was on the planning board meeting last week, but probably nobody watches those. Everyone watches these. I've seen these on TV before. I'm Mark Mitchell. I'm new in town. I was the most recently code enforcement officer at Saco for 15 years. I've been a code enforcement officer in Warren and also the city of Portland in the 80s. Thank you. How did I do that? Anyway, I'm really glad to be in Waterboro. I really like it here. It's kind of like a town I grew up in, and I told the board before I was even hired that I knew I'd like this town, and I was right. I do like this town a lot. I've been having fun. I've been meeting a lot of good people. It's amazing how many people come in the door that I'd already known. I just never knew they were from Waterboro. So it's been. Single-family home is on a corner lot, and a corner lot in town is bounded by two streets, actually has two front yard setbacks, which is a greater yard setback than a rear or side yard setback. So the house should be 50 feet from both streets rather than just one, and it's not, it's only 43 feet. There's also a detached garage on the property that should be 50 feet from the front property line, and it's 45 feet from the property line. So these are rather minor discrepancies. They're old discrepancies, and I've written about 100 no-action letters in these situations for mortgage companies and banks over the years, but this particular title company wishes to have one signed by the Board of Selectmen here. They feel it's a better, stronger, irreversible solution to this really minor technical dimensional setback violation. So before you is an agreement, I think it's pretty familiar to you folks. It's an agreement for a penalty in lieu of legal action, where the town essentially says we don't really care because it's been there a long time. It's never bothered us before. It's not going to bother us now. And we promise not to take any action today or in the future for these minor setback violations. And on the front page, it lets the board, again, you've seen it a million times, decide what sort of monetary fine, if you will, or penalty the applicant should pay the town to cover its costs in this matter. Any questions? Should have a mortgage survey that shows the discrepancies. They're quite minor.
What was the issue the deck that was built or the garage?
The garage,
What was the most recent
be the back deck. Yeah, it's the back deck that's in violation. If you're in the driveway looking at the front of the house, you'd never imagine that Ospey Hill Road was behind this place. It's all wooded, and it's because there are two streets fronting this lot. Someone mentioned to me before that many years ago, one of the code enforcement officers, one of my predecessors, would call the front, wherever the front yard setback, wherever the front door was, that was his front, and the rest were side and rear, which would be a reduced setback. So that could have something to do with it.
So what was Mark, what was the latest activity? I mean, when was it built? I mean, it
It
goes
was
back some
rebuilt,
time, I
I
would
believe,
presume.
in '96.
And whatever survey was done at that time, be it a mortgage survey or whatever, did not uncover.
Sometimes they don't. The mortgage survey isn't a full-blown survey. Mortgage survey is something you can get for $120, to up to $200 for a mortgage. You know, it's for financing purposes, because banks don't like to finance zoning violations or any illegal land uses that where a town might say you got to tear the building down, it's being used incorrectly, or it's you know, then they don't have any collateral. What it's all about. I've seen situations where a house was sold 3 or 4 times and it never turned up until the 4th mortgage survey. You know, a full-blown survey can cost you a couple $1,000. So
How did this one come to light?
this is a recent sale. The mortgage survey was ordered by the title company for the purchasers of this property who are here tonight, and these discrepancies were found.
Is it the bank that is concerned here? Or?
It's the title company,
Yeah.
not the lender, but the title company who writes policies for, you know, for clean title and so forth.
So this has been in existence for a number of years.
Yeah,
Nothing's changed.
it's old. It's
It
not
was
a
approved
fresh
at one
problem with
time.
fresh violation.
Yeah, I mean,
The important people, you know, the selectmen and the councilors, for these minor setback violations, we just like to clean them up and move on.
How much time do you have invested in this?
Personally,
An
an
hour?
hour and 15 minutes and 10 miles going there and back to look it over.
I would make a motion to approve the consent agreement with a penalty of $50, and basically that's just to cover Mark's time and mileage.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to accept the agreement with a fine of $50. Is there any discussion?
I would assume that the registering of this at the registry of deeds is on the landowner.
This will go to Alfred.
Right, but I mean, it's their responsibility to
Yes.
register.
Yes, I'll follow up to be
So
sure
there's no cost associated
No.
for the town.
we're done.
Who are we assessing this penalty against, the landowner or the
The
mortgage
present
company?
landowner, not the new buyers,
Not the new buyers,
Right.
the ones that currently own the property.
the one who owns it today, which isn't the person who caused it. So sometimes these things can be, you're finding the person who's the third owner, the real violator was back in 1984 when the foundation went in. So this is really just a recapture of any dollars that the town has expended on this project. So I think Selectman Gerard was correct.
I think the $50 compensates us a little bit for processing this, and it certainly is not a major, it cannot be a major issue. I'm sure they'll be very happy to have that free and clear.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion?
you, and I'm sure the new owners are happy to be Waterboro citizens. Thank you. Thanks.
You might as well just stay right up there. The next item on the agenda is the code enforcement officer to discuss the library parking lot. I know that the road commissioner had intended to be here, but he is currently, I guess, dining on rubber chicken with the governor in Gorham somewhere. He did indicate to me that he was going to ask the governor why the state is going to be turning over all these roads to the town without bringing them up to the standards of the town. He wasn't sure what type of answer he would get. And sometimes you really don't. Maybe Doug will be asked to kiss something, I don't know.
Are you gonna ask him to pave this parking lot?
Gonna wreck the governor's chicken dinner.
So anyway, he indicates that, or he apologizes for his absence, but that's why the burden is left entirely on your shoulders.
It's quite okay. He's a character. I like working with him very much. I met on site with Road Commissioner Foglio, and we looked over the lot, and we looked at it with two different views. He looked at it as a long-time resident. He told me all about who used to live in the neighborhood and what was across the street and who put in this culvert and that culvert. And it was quite interesting, to be honest with you. And I told him that I had driven through town about 50 times and never really given much notice to the library, because on the way in I'm going to work, and on the way home I can't wait to go home. So, but I did point out, I don't know if people think of it the way I do because I don't live in town, but it really is the only town building you'll see when you drive through Waterboro if you're on 202 and 4. You don't get to see the town hall, you don't get to see the schools, you don't get to see the fire department. Those are all beautiful buildings, but you don't get to see them. So I think this being on the town line is kind of a welcome to Waterboro building, as it could be, and I guess it will be pretty good looking by the middle of the summer. We talked about what ought to be done, and we quickly discussed and dropped this discussion about whether it should be made smaller. We think it should be everyone I talked to thought it should be the size it is today. And I think he was telling me that the price he was going to get it paved at by the road paving contractor was quite phenomenal. I had some quotes on my driveway recently, and they weren't too far from what you're going to get the library paid for, but it seems like a really good deal. So we thought trimming the broken edges would be a great thing to do, and hopefully get the paving done with your approval. And the price seems quite exceptional for the size of that lot. And I think after you landscape it and do the plantings, it'll be a proud-looking little building. I can picture some landscaping, and once you get the new lines on it, you won't have haphazard parking. You'll have organized parking with the cars lined up and stacked in queues, and it'll look great. And so those are our comments. We didn't want to. The plan that he gave you has some lines drawn on it, and you might think the lines are kind of crazy. You might have some better ideas. Those lines wouldn't go on for quite a while, so that's really open for discussion. I think the discussion tonight is whether you ought to pave it or not, and we sure think you should. We think it would be a wise decision to.
So what is the dimensions of this diagram?
Gosh, from the front steps down to almost the street, it was just almost 200 feet. And it would be trimmed up to about 70 feet wide. It kind of is shaped like me. It kind of comes out right in the middle there. And right where you're scratching right now, that would be trimmed out, and because you wouldn't get the pavement to stick to the broken up stuff. But
And this can be done for the price that was quoted us?
yes, it seemed like a really good price.
Looking at the diagram here, and I'm sure it's not diagram to scale particularly, but you have an in place where you can see the slanted parking and an out where the slanted parking is, but it doesn't look like much of a turnaround here. So if you came in here and this was filled up here and you had an opening over there to turn around and go back out, is there enough room to turn around in here?
The road commissioner dropped that off late this afternoon, and it doesn't look like the lines are to scale.
It looks pretty tight, so.
A typical parking space is 10 feet wide and 20 feet deep. And I know when we measured it all out and scaled it all out, there was gonna be almost 40 feet in between.
Is it 40 feet in between?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it isn't to scale.
Yeah, and that
It
was
looks like about 10 feet in
yeah.
between. Okay.
We figured there's gonna be an easy 28 to 30 cars, 28 to 30 spaces in there.
Okay.
2 for employees, and then a clear spot for the handicap parking on that ramp on the side.
Far better than what we've got now.
Oh, yeah. And it'll just look so good.
So Mark, one of the questions was, is there, what would be the appropriate number of spots for, if you were gonna go build this today, it'd be some X amount of spots, so is what is drawn out here sufficient for the building?
It is sufficient, yeah. You'd have a restaurant, obviously restaurants and retail and office space, everything has different space requirements, and this would be appropriate. You could jam more in, you could shoehorn a few more cars in if you had a certain event in there, but that new pavement could open it up to more uses than I could picture. Little garden shows or fundraisers in the parking lot with tables, and maybe they could have a fundraiser to raise money for heating oil for next winter. Who knows? It'd be a good little spot to hold events like that are really in the public eye.
Well, the road commissioner did call me today. He said one of the considerations that he took into account down there is the drainage. And when you restricted the width any more, then you would run into problems with the drainage down
Yeah.
there.
There's the building next door was tied into that drain tile a number of years ago, and you could essentially tap into that, or you could put in a dry well. There's a lot of easy solutions. There's nothing that would be done in the future that would ruin or hurt the pavement that would go down maybe as soon as next week, I guess.
It's my understanding the fire chief was down there as well as the town planner during this meeting.
We had a meeting in the building.
In the building.
The commissioner and I, they went at a separate time
Oh, did they?
than Commissioner Foglio and I. I think they were all in agreement that this was going to be a good thing, and we all recommend that you go ahead and do it.
Was your recommendation to include that traffic pattern the way that you have it here?
I don't think we need to decide that tonight. I think you get a good feel for it and think about it, look at it, and those are just lines painted on the pavement.
Well, I don't mean the parking spaces, I mean the in and out. I know the road commissioner had indicated that to establish a traffic pattern that you'd come in and just make the loop around so that all traffic would essentially go the same way.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have people coming in one
Yeah,
side.
we talked about, maybe you put a little island out there because it's a pretty wide road opening, but then it makes it more difficult to plow, and it's a pretty big lot. If you get a heavy winter, there's a lot of snow to push around, and so you could always put a concrete planter or something over in the middle if you wish to have an a clear in and out.
Yeah, I don't think you want to put any island in there because there's at times using that parking lot for the book sale and things like that. You want you don't want some sort of barrier there.
Yeah.
Because you may, where you're doing that, if you had things in the first half of the parking lot stacked up, then you may have your turnaround halfway up. So that'd be, so you want the flexibility anyway.
I think this is the foundation of a really good project. You just get this done, and there's so much you can do afterwards. You can landscape, you can put in barriers, or you can plant flowers, or...
So today would be looking for the actual expenditure of funds, and how they actually draw it out is, we would leave that in their hands, in the road commission's hands. Is that what we'd be looking for tonight, is the okay to expend the money on the...
Well, the real thank you again. The real discussion, John, I think Doug had mentioned that he could cover it within his current budget.
Yeah,
Okay? And I think all really we need to do is to endorse the fact that he's gonna go do that.
that's right, it all comes under
Still we're
paving
not
and-
gonna spend any more money than what's already in that road budget, paving budget.
So I would make a motion that we move on the proposal that was presented to us last week, keeping the parking lot the same size, except for making the edge cut to clean it up, and the funds come out of the road budget.
Second.
So been moved and seconded to approve the project as indicated during last week's meeting, and have the funds come out of the road account from the road commissioner's budget. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, appreciate it. The road commissioner was next to discuss the transfer of responsibility for the old Alfred Road. But since he is not here, we won't necessarily be talking about that in any great length, but I know that copies were made of a letter that was received from the superintendent of operations to the road commissioner, indicating what Maine DOT agrees to do for work on the old Alfred Road before the turnback on July 1st. And there are 7 items there that he indicates. You should have it in your packet. And we can wait for a more formalized report from the road commissioner.
I'd like to talk to Doug about this still, because I know that he presented a list to DOT of deficiencies he found with the road, and we don't have that list, so I'd like to compare the two lists and see if what they're proposing is agreeable to the road commission. I don't think it is.
Did you say he's coming in to discuss it? I guess we roll it into next week.
Well, at some point, we have a meeting coming up with the road
Right.
commissioner
29th?
on the 29th. And,
Next week.
oh, the
Right,
22nd,
next week.
yes, you're right. Thank you very much. The 22nd, and we could, bring it all out then. Unless we're fortunate enough to have with us tonight the chair of the road review committee, unless he has something that he'd care to mention on this. While you're right here.
The only thing I'd like to mention on this is there's been a concern about truck traffic coming out of Poland Springs, going down the Old Town Road, Townhouse Road and across there. What the Road Review Committee would like to do is set up our traffic counters. We're gonna need a little bit of time. They've been sitting all winter long, so the batteries are all dead. We only have one charger for all 4, and it takes about 3 to 4 days to charge up each one. So we're hoping probably by Monday or Tuesday of next week, what I'd like to do is go out and set up 2 traffic counters on the old Alfred Road, 1 on each end, and also set a couple up on the Townhouse Road, and kind of see how much truck traffic and traffic we're getting coming out of Hollis and going out and going this direction.
I would guess at this point in time, there's gotta be a lot of it, seeing as how the mess that they've
say this officially or anything, but I was told by a truck driver about a week and a half ago that Poland Springs had a sign up telling the drivers not to use 112 because of the construction. So I'm sure that we're getting a lot more now. But the people that do it all the time are finding that it is shorter coming down this way. It costs less because you're not paying the tolls. And because once the word gets out, that's the way they're all gonna go. I mean, the economy is tough on the truck drivers just like everybody else. They're out there to save a penny.
Well, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars being put into Route 112, and they're doing a little bit at a time, right? And
They've got quite a project going on there right now, and I don't see where that is anything, especially with the weather, the way it's been, is really got them behind on that project. I don't see where that project is gonna be done anytime
Well,
soon.
we still got another whole section that they haven't, other than.
Haven't even started on yet.
Haven't started, so we're in for a fairly long period of time where the traffic is,
It'll
if
be
I was
all,
driving one of those trucks, would be coming this way instead of trying to
it's gonna be
fight
all
that mess
summer.
going there.
But that's the only thing we've got. We do wanna set the traffic counters up, and that'll just give us a little more ammunition for the state. Okay?
Very good. Okay. Do the selectmen have anything to report? Yes, Dave.
I assume maybe Lakeside or somebody, but with the flags out, looks very nice.
I know that Leo was one, and with somebody that works for him, we're doing it. They put them up all along.
Looks good.
Yes.
Just let the board know that Monday night is the 12-town group meeting, and I would encourage, actually, the board to attend. The county manager, Greg Zinser, is coming to the meeting. You have a notice that, I think everybody got the notice about the meeting. It's gonna be at 6 o'clock this month, and he's coming in to talk about some of the functions of county government, regionalization, which is, there's a big push from county government to do a lot of regionalization with the communities in York County. Talk about the financial situation, which is going backwards instead of forward, by the way. Some plans within county government, and then there's gonna be an opportunity for Q&A. And he's already been forewarned that there's probably gonna be some very tough questions from the 12-town folks that attend, so I think it'd just be a great meeting for anybody that's interested, and would encourage the whole board to attend.
One of the problems is that we also have the charter review has asked us to
So,
go to that meeting at 7 o'clock that evening, so we got a double booking.
Maybe we can get this televised.
yeah, let's call in our questions from the other side.
Yeah. We could do that. But just to note, I do have the notice on that, and you want to note that there is a time change on
Yep,
that.
that's what I said, 6.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate that. Any
Augusta has finished reviewing the applications for the Open for Business program, and their recommendations have been passed on to the governor's office. From what I understand, within 7 to 10 days, they will probably be announcing who is getting that certification. Representative Libby did check on Thursday before he left in Augusta, and he was told that they were very impressed with Waterboro's application. The old CEO office, which is Selectmen one, turned into a meeting room, starting to be cleaned out. Went through some of the boxes that are stored there and marked everything with a destroy date. And Iron Mountain came yesterday to pick up our shredding containers, and both containers was full. And I think they took out 20-some boxes, did Pete say? 20-some boxes also that they took. But there's still quite a bit up there. Because you have to look inside the boxes, because you can't go what's marked on the outside of the boxes.
Pray tell that we would have had any kind of sequence that made any sense, right?
Yeah, well, there's a box up there that says destroy. It was financial records, says destroy something July 2010, but when you open it up, it's all paper bag stuff. The pamphlet, so. The Finance Committee is now ready to meet with the Selectmen to go over the warrant and their recommendations, and reminded that the last Selectmen's meeting to sign the warrant is May 29th, so it's gonna have to be a special meeting, and the posting has to be done by June 5th, which is 7 days prior. And absentee ballots are available, and the last day to vote absentee is Thursday, June 7th. And also, at the election, you'll need 25 voters, because it's a municipal election. To open the polls, the last day of school is the day before. So I don't know if we're gonna have the pool of employees to draw from for the 25, so.
So the word is, there's at least 6 here.
Well, for those of us that work full-time, we can't always get there for 7.
Yeah. 7 is very early.
7 is when I'm already in Saco.
So we have to keep that in mind.
You have a candidates night scheduled? Okay.
No,
Are
no,
there any
it's like-
candidates?
No, they're all, nobody's,
Everything's on a post,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah.
Okay.
And typically, it's been this board that sets those
Mhm.
meetings up, so.
Just looking at Wednesday night, isn't the Finance Committee meeting this Wednesday night? Wanting the
I believe.
Selectmen there?
We're meeting with the 2020 committee this Wednesday night.
This what?
This Wednesday night, we're
It's
meeting with
2020.
the
No, I
2020.
thought
But I thought we had an email saying that Finance, or was it Thursday?
Tonight, last night, right?
They met last night.
Right.
I go, yeah.
I thought we
It
had
was
an
last night,
email
the 14th.
asking us to meet with them Wednesday night, but maybe.
I
I'll
had
just
sent
have
out an
to-
email saying instead of trying
the
to do
last
it,
stuff that
probably
was-
should do it on an off night, not try to do it on a Tuesday night.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything on
Yeah,
here.
the last notes that were sent out were that they were finalizing, they were attempting to meet last night to finalize it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything further? Okay, we'll move on now to new business. First item is discuss and vote to approve a new liquor license for Lee's Family Restaurant. The chair will entertain a motion regarding that.
I will open up, I will move that we grant the liquor license to Lee's Family Restaurant.
I'll second for discussion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the liquor license for Lee's Family Restaurant. Is there any discussion? Yes.
We had the inspections done, and Lieutenant Frazier, in his notice to us, recommended temporarily approving and made conditional to the outcome of the final occupancy inspection once construction is completed.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can, the state, it's either a yay or
talked with Mike Fraser, and he said that everything was in order. The thing is, he couldn't say because the interior hadn't been completed yet. But he said, all the fire extinguishers and the exit signs and things like that, I think were in order. It's just that he couldn't come up with a finalized okay until it's totally complete.
Well, this probably, you wouldn't be selling liquor or food until you're done.
Yeah, that's the thing is, trying to get everything kind of come together quick here.
Yeah.
And, so if we waited for the construction to be done, that's gonna be done probably the week before I start ordering food and getting things, in the building. So, that's the problem with that. And, I don't think Mark's still here, but he was there as well, and everything was in order. But it's just that we are still working on the building. So it was kind of a work in progress. And I explained that to them, and they both seemed to agree that everything was in place at that time, but it is still under construction.
What's your date that you're shooting for?
By July 1st. Yeah, we haven't advertised an opening date yet, just because of,
You never know with construction.
Right, getting things done. There's some equipment that's taking a little longer to get than anticipated and whatnot, so.
And on your license application, you're asking for the state to inspect you on June 1st, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to get everything so it's at least ready with the state by June 1st, so that, again, so that when everything falls in place, we're ready to go, with all the permits needed. As soon as the building's ready, I want to have all the permits ready so we can get going, because we're cutting into the season now. And, we're a little behind schedule, yeah.
Just for my interest, and other people have talked to me, the fare of the restaurant is going to be similar to what it was before.
Very similar.
The same haddock and the same hot dogs and things.
Yes. Yeah, I remember you with the.
Okay, now I can tell my wife.
And I'll even put a picnic table out front so you can sit out there and eat it, yeah. But, it's gonna be very similar to what we were doing before. And this liquor license is for a beer and wine license, only. We're not gonna be serving mixed drinks. It's just,
You better modify your license, because the one that we get a copy of just says for malt beverages, so if you're gonna serve wine, you need to check the other.
yeah, the one that I filled out, that was for both, yeah, it was,
Okay, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah,
the one that we
okay,
have in
yeah.
our packet only has malt beverages, so
yeah, the packet that you got, I dropped off.
I just don't want this to go up to Augusta and they go, oh, by the way, all that wine that you ordered,
Yeah, so we'll have to make sure that.
or when you go to order it, the liquor guys say,
Exactly,
no, you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
order that.
they're pretty strict on that, so, we'll make sure that's straightened out, but, anyhow, yeah, it's gonna be very similar to what it was, years ago.
Does that include the Dairy Queen?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, we got the, soft serve, and, that's another thing that's taken a little while to get, I was looking for a used machine, and, I didn't have any luck finding a decent one, so unfortunately, we had to buy a new one. And there is a little bit of a wait on those. So I'm hoping we'll be able to within the next 3 weeks.
So, Nancy, can we have them change this in front of us if they're looking for beer and wine? Or do we have to do another posting?
Well, it was just said for a liquor license.
Just
I just said liquor
Just
license.
Just as
Yeah.
liquor license in general, yeah.
Check the Venus now,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, if you wanna come up and correct that,
Okay.
I think in the future, it should be advertised specifically what they're asking. Okay. That's- I know
so
that's
just
the way
up
we
here.
do
So my motion
Okay.
would be for beer and
Yep.
wine,
And,
malt and vintner, or whatever they call it.
it. Minutes.
That was it.
There we go. Thanks.
Product of the great.
And I seconded it already, so.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor
Pass hot dogs around.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is to discuss and vote to approve the new mission statement of the Road Review Committee. Mr. Chairman? Roger?
Well, we have it here, right?
You should have a copy of it.
Okay.
We wake you
I
up.
just wanted to, yeah.
No, at our last meeting, we dedicated probably 80% of the meeting to redoing the mission statement. At the end, we all agreed that what we had presented, or what we wanted to present to the Board of Selectmen, was we all voted and agreed on. Took a little doings, we had some that didn't think it should be changed, that the mission statement we had, they'd been working on for years. It was all assigned, it was signed by the selectmen, and they thought it should continue. They thought it was working pretty well. But after doing some discussion, we did make some minor changes, and we'd like to get it approved and carry on. Just go on about our business and do what we have to do.
I move we accept it as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the mission statement of the Road Review Committee as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The motion is carried.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
David's talking to himself in the corner over there.
We're troubleshooting, we got a problem.
Oh,
Okay. We are still on air though, correct? Now, the next order of business is to discuss and vote to reschedule the May 22nd executive session regarding a personnel matter. This is in response to a written communication from the involved party for a continuance based on a work commitment that requires that party's attendance at. A letter to the effect that the continuance was granted was sent by the chair to her, to that person, indicating that that effectively waived the 30-day requirement, and so now we just need to establish a new date for that to take place.
So the following week?
Where is the pleasure of the board? The 29th?
29.
Good for everyone?
today's 8.
Need a motion on that?
I make a motion that we postpone it to the 29th of May at 5 PM.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to reschedule the meeting to May 29th at 5 PM in executive session. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is to discuss and vote to sign a revised quitclaim deed as requested by an attorney that was approved at the May 1st, 2012 Selectmen's meeting. What is the pleasure of the board?
I'll move to do it, to approve it for discussion as.
I have a motion to approve the revised quitclaim deed. I require a second.
I'll second that for
Okay, it's
discussion.
been moved and seconded to approve the quitclaim deed as requested. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I guess my question is that they presented this to us to begin with.
To begin with, they asked the town to approve a quitclaim deed.
Right.
So I drafted one to the owner of record when the
Okay.
lien was filed.
So the first one was drafted by us.
this one is rare, because usually we do them to the record of owner, because,
So it looks like the financial institution is gonna go do something with this property.
yes, they foreclosed on it. And they paid it off,
So they have an interest in it only.
correct.
In the way that we signed, which was only the three of us 2 weeks ago, the way that it was signed suggested that the original landowner still had an interest in it.
Correct. And they would have to go back to them and have them
And get a
sign
release.
paperwork.
Right.
As she explained, it would have been too messy.
Okay, as Selectman Abbott indicated, I was absent, as well as Selectman Gerard, during the discussion of this. So I will be abstaining on the vote, which way it goes, but I do have, has this been reviewed by the town attorney, or does it need to be, to protect the interests of the town, or?
No, it's a lien release. They're
Okay.
releasing the town's interest in the liens.
So do
What-
Gordon
what
and
per-
I
yeah,
have
but what-
to abstain?
I don't think that they're,
Yeah, we didn't sign the original.
I don't.
Yeah, but this is a new one.
But this is
Right,
a new
So
one.
I don't think that the old one, this one overrides
The old one.
So I don't see that you have to abstain. That'd be my opinion, but
I
that's.
don't have a new one in here. I just have the one that was signed by,
Should be down
The new one
below.
was in there, and it's made out to Citibank,
in
or,
there.
well, maybe it's in there that I saw it then.
Yeah, it's in,
says municipal quitclaim deed to William Netto, care of City Financial.
Look at page
Silver.
27.
The new one says, it says a municipality to City Financial, Inc. of 1111 North Point Road, Building 4, Suite. So,
Okay,
Oh, it's separated in the packet, that's why.
yeah,
There's something that got in between it, a letter.
there's
mission
an email
statement.
or something, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
It was a test.
okay.
It belonged with it. It was just, they weren't.
Oh, there was the email in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I should-
From the lawyer.
Yeah, gotcha.
Just make sure we get our dollar.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion on this item? Okay, all those in favor of the motion on the new one as written? Could we raise again, because I didn't see who it was.
It's
John,
all of us.
John?
all those in favor?
Okay, excuse me.
Okay, the motion's carried 5 to
Had I
0.
voted on it?
Thank you. I know, I
He's
didn't,
thinking hot dogs.
Here he is.
No,
He
I
hasn't,
didn't.
he's lost all focus since he heard that.
I'm supposed to think about fish, my wife says, not hot dogs.
That's why you went fishing today.
That's right.
did you catch anything today?
Yes.
Oh, good for you.
Fish for breakfast.
Yeah.
There's no old business, fortunately, this evening. The chair would entertain a motion to approve the warrants for bills and payroll.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the warrants for bills and payroll. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Chair will accept the motion to accept the minutes of May 8th, 2012, regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the minutes of May 8th, 2012, regular meeting. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Pending decisions. The public service announcement. I know that one has been finalized. I have not had the opportunity to review it yet. I don't know if anybody else on the board has had that opportunity. So we'll hold off on that until everybody gets a chance to see it.
Christina, and we've kind of found a date where we can fit in a Conservation Commission meeting, so she's gonna notify the folks that are on that committee, and we'll have the first meeting of that, the first Thursday in June.
Well, and speaking of that, state has sent down to Waterboro Conservation Commission an award of recognition. They sent them to all the town municipal conservation commissions.
So hey, we could start off our first meeting with an award ceremony.
Can I,
Very
And,
perceptive of the state, they're on the ball.
can I go back to the public service announcement? Can we start showing that? Is that gonna need,
I don't
that's
see-
all
I
been
don't-
done?
I think if it's done, you're not gonna edit it, I mean, it is what it is.
Right.
Show it.
Show it.
Because we've been waiting on this, and we wanted to get it going before town meeting and
Yep.
stuff, so. Okay, and maybe, next week could put what's the next step on this? I can make a suggestion, to, maybe to start the transfer station.
Yeah,
Got
John,
some ideas
even though
there.
you didn't look like Geraldo Rivera, I mean, I think you did a good job doing the interviews.
I beg your pardon?
Even though you didn't look like Geraldo doing the interview.
Yeah.
You did, long way, you did look like Joe Biden, though.
You don't
I haven't seen it.
you almost want to look like Geraldo, I think.
I sound like Joe Biden.
Okay, the water district office space lease.
Sorry.
They're a little punched.
Little side conversation.
I'm trying to move this right along, but,
Get your ducks in a row down there.
yeah, another ducky thing.
As far as I know, it's approved, we haven't got it back yet.
Okay. The internet and electronic mail policy revisions,
Nancy's waiting on me.
okay. And item 7, the barriers to prohibit vehicles driving on the public beach. As you indicated, there is a conservation committee meeting coming up on that, and I took your suggestion to heart, and the graphics on the PowerPoint display have been amended, and I'll see that you get an updated copy of that.
Can I make it just seeing as how we're 2 weeks away from any, people starting to use that property on a regular basis, can't the Rex director just put some stakes up with, a rope or whatever the case may be to show that it is not passable? I mean, just a visual, I mean, it wouldn't cost a lot, and at least he could, and put some sort of like a rope barrier or something.
Great.
Because you're gonna be a while sweating through all of the stuff, right? And if we don't do anything, then it's an invitation for people to park on it and drive over it.
I think that suggestion is well taken. Would you see that that is accomplished? Thank you. Okay. The reminders, Wednesday, February, boy, we're moving back in time. May 16th at 6 PM, the 2020 Comprehensive Master Planning Committee will meet at Central Station with the Board of Selectmen in attendance, or as many of the board members that can make it, unless they have other commitments. Wednesday, May 16th at 7 PM, the Planning Board will meet at the Town Hall. On Monday, May 21st at 6 PM, the 12 Town Group will meet at the Town Hall. On Monday, May 21st at 7 PM, the Charter Review Commission with the Selectmen attending will be meeting at the Old Town Hall. There may be split attendance at that because we have some at the 12 Town Group and some at Charter Review. Tuesday, May 26th at 6 PM, we'll have the Selectmen's meeting at the Town Hall with reports from the Finance Committee and the Treasurer. On Wednesday, May 23rd at 6 PM, the 2020 Master Planning Committee will meet at station. On Thursday, May 24th at 11:30 a.m., the senior luncheon will take place at the Snowmobile Club. On Thursday, May 24th at 6:30 p.m., Old Home Days Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. On Saturday, May 26th at 8:30 a.m. is a cribbage tournament at the Old Town Hall. On Monday, May 28th at 6:30 p.m., the Transfer Station Recycling Committee will meet at the Old Town Hall. And finally, to wrap up the month, on Tuesday, May 29th at 6 p.m., the Selectmen's meeting will take place at the Town Hall with a report from the 2020 committee.
And the selectmen really need to set up a meeting with the finance
Yeah,
committee.
I was just gonna say, I know you brought that up. Did we set that up? Did I miss something?
No, you didn't.
We need to pick a date.
Yeah, I'd like to go back and, it seemed to me, I thought Diane sent something out on our email requesting tomorrow night. But
Well, Diane sent a reminder to meet tomorrow night with the
For the-
2020
Well, the 20
committee.
Oh, okay, it was
That's
a
what I have.
2020,
Yeah.
okay, it wasn't finance, okay,
Yeah.
she has
She's
three
all over
hats.
the place.
Yeah, I've got that one.
I mean,
Okay.
I would suggest, I mean, when, maybe a note to Diane, at least poll them to see when they can meet. And, you know, it's gonna be a Monday or a Thursday night or something, and we've got only a few weeks. Next Monday night, we're tied up, so, I mean, my suggestion is if we get next Wednesday or Thursday night, that's the best we're gonna do, so.
And then we'd have to vote on it the following week.
So we're looking at the 23rd?
23rd or 24th, but
Okay.
Diane's got a 2020 committee meeting Wednesday night, so maybe Thursday.
well, the 2020 meeting is the 16th, right?
No,
It's
there's a
tomorrow night.
23rd also.
The
Oh,
23rd.
there's one on the 23rd.
Yeah, master
Okay.
planning on the
So
23rd.
maybe we do the 24th.
They usually meet on Thursdays anyways, correct?
Right.
So let's tentatively look at the 24th and see if that's simpatico with the finance committee.
The 24th.
Yep. If nobody has anything further, the chair would entertain a motion to
Just
adjourn.
real quick, I meant to mention it under
I will not.
Selectmen's reports. The Waterboro Old Home Days had a fundraiser event to Foxwoods this Saturday, and I just wanted to commend them for another well-done trip, well-organized. And we even came home with one couple coming home with an extra $4,300 in their pocket, so. But they do a really nice job with that. They organize games on the bus all the way down. They had a full bus, and then they play some games coming back and have some snacks and whatnot. Cindy, Bob, Jill, and Deb they do a really great job. I've gone a couple times with them now, and they put a lot of work and effort into that, so just want to let them know, job well done.
It's my understanding that the person that won the 4,300 may have also garnered some of the monies that you left down there.
Yeah, I left all my money there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will try this a third time.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?